All right, welcome back to NOS Performance Keys to the Race. I'm Buzz Cutler, sitting here next to Kyle Busch in his shop, Kyle Busch Motorsports, Mooresville, North Carolina, getting ready to talk about Phoenix, but there are a lot of question marks around Phoenix because they redid the whole deal.
That's right, exactly. You know, we've got no idea, no sense of anything. There's a test that comes up that we'll have before we get there, but besides that, you know, they've redone the configuration a little bit. 3 and 4 are still the same, but from what I understand, they moved turn 2. You go through 1 and then into 2, and they stretched turn 2 out a little bit and made a bigger dog leg in the backstretch. So it'll be a little bit different when we get back over there. Well,
what remains is that you've got two ends of the racetrack which are different from one another.
Sure.
You got to pick which one you set up for. Do you try to hit them in the middle? You compromise? How do you approach that?
I think the biggest thing is just a driver compromise. You know, you've got to know how to drive the racetrack and what you're looking for in a feel. You know, Phoenix this time around is going to have so much grip. We're going to be going so fast that, you know, you run down the front straightaway and you're going to be looking for your braking zone. And then when you do, you know, you turn into the corner, and turn 1 and 2 is typically a tighter turn. So you're always looking for the car to be a little bit freer there so you can bend the middle, but then you've got to have that good bite up off the corners for drive off. Whereas though then you go down the back straightaway, you get through turns 3 and 4. It's a smooth entry, nice and easy turn off into turn 3, and you roll a lot of speed in there. You don't slow down as much. You just roll your speed through the turn more, and you tend to be a little bit tight down there as well. But while you're tight, your back's wanting to come out too, just because of the speed factor. You know, you're swinging the back end through there, and somehow you got to figure out how to go back to the power and get up off turn 4 where that wall comes up on you so quick.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that always sort of amazes me about Phoenix is how you guys are just driving right into the blinding sun.
Yeah.
I used to have a commute like that, and everybody's impulse was just to slow down when they started driving into the sun. Is that as disconcerting for you guys as it looks to us?
No, we do a lot of things, whether it's tape on a windshield or tape on our visors or something like that, to try to help us so that sun isn't as blinding while going down the front straightaway. But still, you know, when you get into a long run and you've got a lot of oil and grease or rubber or bugs on your windshield, you don't see very well.
Yeah.
You know, so you're already having troubles by looking through your dirty windshield, but then having to do it while the sun's on it and glaring and everything in your eyes. So it can make it for a challenging event.
Yeah, so I mean, with them reconfiguring Phoenix, it's not like you can really use New Hampshire or Richmond as a guide. Are you just throwing all your notes out from past races there and starting from scratch?
No, not really. You'll certainly still use your past notes, and then you'll tweak on it from there. You'll know what your setup has been, but you're going to look at the coefficient of friction, which is the new asphalt. You know, okay, the new asphalt's going to give us this much more grip, so we're going to have to work on stiffer bump stops because we're going to want more aerodynamics. You know, we're going to want the nose lower to the ground. We're going to raise our truck arms a little bit because there's going to be way more forward bite when you go to the gas because of the tires, so we won't need the truck arms down. That'll help us roll the center. Okay, so what do? You know, there's always those things that the crew chiefs are looking for and the engineers are going to be looking for. And so when we get a chance to go test there, it's going to be really good for us to pick up on those tendencies really quick, and for the driver to give the feedback to the crew chief so we can get a better start on it.
Right, so adaptability, flexibility, being able to adapt to the new circumstances, the new configuration quicker than the next guy.
Exactly, and you know, typically brakes haven't been that big of a deal. It's a short track, but brakes haven't been that big of a deal. At Phoenix, sure, they'll get hot, but you know, it's not like a place like a Richmond or a Martinsville or something like that, or even a Loudon. So you know, with Phoenix now, I don't know that you're going to be on the brakes as much, so you might even be able to tape those down a little bit and take advantage of a little more aerodynamics, a little more downforce.
Excellent. Well, that's Kyle Busch on the new Phoenix. I'm Buzz Cutler. Thanks for watching NOS Performance Keys to the Race.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.